change our mind about moving on as if we never met before. What made you change your mind like that? Was it something that I said? No, I've been too afraid to speak. Did she call you on the phone today? Did she tell you you were allowed today like I should have done before you hurt me so? I used to think that your perfection was unattainable.
Hello, SL Aviation community. I'm Luke Flywalker, and welcome to this issue of SL Aviation magazine. We're glad you could join us today. If you have not watched any of our issues to date, I think you have picked one of the most important and informative shows to start with. I will be talking with Mr. Aeon Voom today. Aeon is one of the premier aircraft builders and scripters in Second Life, and he has developed a revolutionary new combat system called MCE. His new system is a work of genius. He has brought video game quality and experience to a system that is not truly a gaming engine. As with all new things, people oppose change, so his new system has been introduced amid controversy. We will talk with Aeon about this controversy and all the other things concerning the development of his new system. Let's join him now in the MCE hub high above Old Air Force Base. I'm here at the MCE hub with my good friend Aeon Voom, and we're going to have a conversation with him about building jets and combat systems and all kinds of good stuff. How you doing today, Aeon?
I'm doing great, Luke. How are you? I'm really glad to be here.
Oh yes, I am too. Thought about doing this for a long time, and finally glad we could work it out and do it. So, great place you got here, and guy could spend 2 or 3 days just reading all the information you got here in the hub on MCE, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So let's get started. Tell us about yourself a little bit. When you first came to SL and started building military aircraft and vehicles. Tell us how all that came about.
Well, actually, I started doing science fiction stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Star Wars and Firefly weapons and vehicles. But I soon found out that this sci-fi community isn't really, how to put it, they don't like to pay good work, or at least they didn't at that time. So as I made the Osprey, I found out that the aviation community is a lot more rewarding. They love to pay for good work, for good craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Wow. So that's how you got into building aircraft and military vehicles and combat system development, things like that.
Yeah. That was the start.
And then your company, Amok Dynamics, how did that come about? Was that an offshoot
Well,
of that?
The initial brand was Amok, and I sold blasters with that, Star Wars blasters. And for the for airplanes, I made Amok Dynamics. Well, and soon it became evident that I sell more airplanes than blasters, and Amok Dynamics became the main brand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And you also have another company, don't you? That sells aircraft.
That is a side project, and it's called Adventure Air, and we want to bring out adventure aircraft, not the shiny business aircraft, not the fancy military aircraft, but more like the things you would see in Somalia on some airstrip, or in an Indiana Jones movie, or well, you name it. Yeah, adventure movies, classic vintage aircraft.
So tell us about your build philosophy. You know, what guidelines do you set for your products and things like that?
Well, well, my main philosophy is probably that can be done better. That means I can do things better in my own products, and of course, I try to make things better than the competition.
Right. Well,
Obviously,
yes.
when I see a particularly old or crappy aircraft, then I think by myself, that can't be done better.
Hmm.
And I think everyone had this feeling
Mm-hmm.
at some point.
Yeah, I think you're right. We wouldn't have so many aircraft if that wasn't right, if that wasn't true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So,
It's
what would you say was your most successful product?
hard to say really. I mean, the Osprey is still going strong. It was my first aircraft. It's still
Mm-hmm.
going very strong. The Hornet is also very strong going.
Mm-hmm.
My old Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, the tendency is if it's American, it sells well. That might sound harsh, but it's I just speak from personal experience.
Mm-hmm. So, any in the build area, any new projects that you can tell us about?
Yeah, Carl is working on a DC-3, and I think he does several versions of that airplane.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I got the hands on an KA-26 Hoodlum. I'm not sure how to spell that. Well, it's a small Russian helicopter, civil helicopter for adventure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And an Antonov 2, which is often called Little Annie or Anushka. It's a
Mm.
Russian bush plane.
Oh wow.
Well, the Russian bush plane.
Uh-huh. Okay. We're setting high above the ground here at Olds, and
Mm.
so tell us about Olds here. How long's it
Well,
been in existence? And,
we're officially around since May 2010. And ever since we had provided a fair gaming environment for modern combat, that was the main goal of Old's AFB.
mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
I think you've achieved that goal. You know, it
yeah,
is a premier place for modern combat in Second
yeah.
Life.
Also, many people ask me this over and over again: is why is Old's AFB? Is it old or older or old? I have to. I take this as a chance to explain everyone. This airbase is dedicated to Robin Olds. You can Google that on Wikipedia or look it up. Robin Olds was a jet fighter ace in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
and that is Olds dedicated to
Okay,
him as a person.
I see. That's awesome. That's interesting to know.
Mhm.
Okay, what about statistics or traffic numbers and things like that? I know it's a busy place.
Yeah, we're busy daily, more or less. It really depends. Weekends is obviously most busy. Traffic numbers hard to tell because well, a lot of aircraft here, and the traffic only gets counted after 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
An avatar is when an avatar is 5 minutes in one sim, the traffic gets counted. So we get a lot of flow in and out. I'd say when you calculate everything together, we get like 25K a day or more.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know. I'm actually not checking that too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't need to. I mean, it's there, isn't it? And
Yeah, right.
you know it's successful. What about your staff?
Well, we currently got I think 12 admins and moderators
Mm-hmm.
in different time zones. Very helpful, very friendly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say a bad word? Oh.
That's okay. We won't have to bleep that one out, I don't think. Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fun place. And how many Sims do you have here now?
Um, a total of actively playable 10 in alls.
Awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah.
plenty of space to fly and fight and
Fly, fight, make party. We even got a small cafe in the village.
uh-huh.
You can also relax and enjoy a sunset.
Oh, wow.
But I wouldn't say it's a good idea to rent houses in the village.
You might get blowed up. Is that what you're trying to say?
Occasionally.
Well, it is a combat sim, right? So
After
people
all,
should
yeah.
expect that. Yes. So
Everything on the ground is a target. That's right.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's all fair, isn't it? As long as people know that. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking of combat systems, let's first talk about the original one that we all come to know and love, Vice.
Yeah. Well, Vice got created by Mifunity Ball and Cream Pie, and they left as left Second Life around the time I was building up Olds, probably a bit earlier. And well, yeah, Vice will not get updated. Everything that gets sold as updates or improvements or anything else are just merely hacks into an existing system,
Mm-hmm.
and that is sometimes very disturbing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So okay, and a lot of people still use Vice, though. I mean, there's a lot of Vice combat still going on as well.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's completely right.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say I'm the main carrier anymore. Well, I will drop Vice entirely out of my program.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I simply couldn't watch that anymore. Yeah, there had to be a solution, especially since Wise initially got made as a World War II dogfighting system.
Uh-huh.
Tanks, ships, infantry, those subsystems all got more or less glued to the main system,
Uh-huh.
which is still World War II dogfighting. That
Mm-hmm.
is why jets and helicopters and tanks and ships are not performing overly well in that system. You either can make them overpowered or too weak,
Mm-hmm.
and it's often hard to make a middle way there.
I see.
The system is not flexible enough
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that as a user. I understand what you're saying there. So
Mm.
that brings us to your new system, which is
Mm.
MCE, and tell us about that.
Well, the first idea about MCE came to life when we read the old papers of Mifune and Cream about Vice 2.0. They had plans for Vice 2.0 and set up a couple papers. There have been a couple community discussions about the system, which been aimed to basically fight all those problems Vice had at that time already, the deficits. And initially, I wanted to name the system Vice 2.0, but because of legal matters, I decided to give it a different name and call it MCE, which is short for Modern Combat Experience.
Okay. Yes. And you've spent quite a bit of time and money developing this thing, haven't you?
Yeah,
All on
MCE
your own.
development started early last year.
Mm-hmm.
I laid out the base with the server structure and main architecture
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And in spring last year, I rented a whole sim for beta testing.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, no turning back. Basically, I really invested thousands of dollars into the
Oh
development
yeah.
of the system. Yeah, the rent for the whole sim, servers, hardware. Then I got a load of freebie weapons with top animations. All those animations got made by the very talented Eric Bocara,
Mm-hmm.
and cost me a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and all just to kick that system off as a Kickstarter, so to say.
Okay. So introduction of MCE has been somewhat controversial, but so was Vice. I remember when we first started using Vice, and everybody was complaining, and there was different opinions about it. But talk about some of this controversy around MCE and how you've dealt with it.
Well, the main controversy was mainly people being concerned that all the money they invested into Wise equipment would be basically wasted.
Mm-hmm.
But I countered that somewhat in assuring that all my vehicles, everything I ever created for Wise, will get updated to MCE for free. And if
Mm-hmm.
I do not update it, then there will be a replacement of same or better value.
Hmm.
So that is one thing how I try to counter that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that does not spread over to other brands, but I think the people got the idea and appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And the other part was that a few people, or rather one person, been spreading some misconceptions on how the system works. For example, they tried to spread the rumor that my system grabs the IP of the users,
Hmm.
and well, it's hard to prove the contrary that I do not.
Mm-hmm.
But to someone who is not as versed in technology and knows how everything works. Um, but I can assure everyone that that is a fact that is technologically not possible to do that, or else all other combat systems would do the same. Everything that also uses servers to store data, like DCS, CCS, OCS, other CS
Mm-hmm.
systems.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all modern combat systems use servers to store data,
Mm-hmm.
and they do not grab your IP. They just store avatar-related data.
I see. That's good information there.
Hmm.
So tell us, how does MCE actually work?
Well, MC is a modular system consisting of the main HUD,
Mm-hmm.
which is always required for combat, and as well as APIs for guns and vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
MC uses an off-grid server to store avatar keys and their associated scores and other game-relevant data. Well, furthermore, MCE does not provide an API accessible by everyone like Wise did, but only to selected creators who got whitelisted on our servers. We hope that we, through that, can grant a better game balance to everyone. So we basically assure that only creators who got an idea about game balance get access to the API.
Okay. Very good. Trying to the game balance with realism. Trying to balance out with realism. That's good.
That's a dance on the razor's edge.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, in any.
You got yeah. It's funny. Many people ask for realism,
Mm-hmm.
and actually mean power. I want more power. Yeah,
They don't
isn't
really
it?
want it to be really real. They just want to have an
Yeah,
advantage over somebody.
actually exactly what I was seeing
Uh-huh.
is that they want the benefits of the realism, more damage, instant kills,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But they do not want the downsides like easily killable. For example, a very good example is I get recently I get a lot of requests for an AC 130, the Spooky,
Yes. Uh-huh.
because it can. Everyone is like, yeah, it can put the ground to dust, basically, which
Mm-hmm.
is sort of true.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is it's a transport plane. Every fighter will rip it apart in
Mm-hmm.
the air. Well, that's the kind of realism they do not like.
Yeah.
But it's realism.
Right.
A C-130 or AC-130 is an easy target for any jet.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, uh, what's the benefits of MCE over Vice and some of the other combat systems that are out there?
Well, when you're into modern combat, then you surely. I mean, I explained that earlier too. That Wise got made for World War II era dogfights, and everything else just got glued to it. So
Mhm.
it really doesn't fit into modern combat at all. Either you got overpowered equipment, or you got too weak equipment, or it isn't really realistic. Not even to that extent that it fulfills game balance as such.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the upside of MCE is, or the benefit of MCE is that we can create things how they should be, while making them as balanced as possible as well. That is, of course, a dance on the razor's edge, but the benefit is right there. Um, we can have more freedom to create everything we want. That is one huge benefit of the system.
Yeah. Yeah. That that is.
And additionally, Wise do not got systems like respawn. You can't heal units. You can't repair units. You do not get ammunition limits. MCE got all that, and on top of that, we got error control. We can control. Do we want World War II aircraft on my sim? Do we want sci-fi aircraft on my sim,
Mhm.
or fictional aircraft on my sim? Um, there's so much more already in the system. It would take a while to explain all the benefits MCE got over Vice.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I like to admit that there are downsides. One downside is that it's not as easy as just wearing a weapon like in Wise and just firing away.
Uh-huh.
There are a few things you need to check out and get familiar with to operate the system as effectively as possible. But I think the possibilities outweigh that
Yeah.
learn curve, that
Uh-huh.
increased learn curve,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. I mean,
learning curve.
there is
Hmm?
because I know when I did with the World War II planes the other day, and it was not terribly complicated because we were in the global mode there and all, but
Hmm.
I ran out of bullets and I didn't know what to do, so I landed and there's I am and me saying, "Are you done? Are you gonna fly?" And said, "Well, I got to reload. I don't know how to." And Wolfie said, "Type reload in chat." so, so that's all I had to do.
Oh,
And it really,
that easy?
yeah, oh yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's not just like strapping on a gun and going out and shooting.
Mm,
And but that makes it more fun, really. To me, that
yeah.
really makes it fun. Okay, so how does let's first, where is it MCE currently being used?
Well, the main carrier is always AFP naturally, but there's also a new Ravenloft, which is owned by Joe Sparrow,
Mm-hmm.
and he does World War II era combat there. Then there is SSOC, which is owned by SUC, and that is an infantry-only urban environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got 7 more estates on the wait list to get in the progress of getting set up or waiting to get set up.
Mm.
So there's more coming.
Awesome, awesome.
Hmm.
So if a new sim owner or
Hmm.
somebody that wants to get in and install MCE on their sim, what do they need to do?
They simply apply on the website and the forums, and that's Modern Combat Experience Mixed.eu. I think you can put that link in the description in the video.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do
that's
that.
easier
Uh-huh.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
put that in there. That'll be good.
Mm.
Okay, and any future developments being planned for MCE?
Yes, we got so much planned, and there's always new things cropping up. Um, right now, I'm pretty much content with having it out of beta, but we have a very new development right now going on, which is easy to it is easy to implement and opens a whole new world for MCE, and it's right now under the project name Quiet Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Zeb, for the name. I have to say that.
Okay.
And the goal is basically using raycast technology to emulate bullets on no-res land. So basically, flying over the lake, having dogfights, no problem.
Wow. Yeah.
Virtually flying and fighting anywhere without harming anyone, because like TCS and CCS and VCS, it uses particles and rays no one can see. Yeah.
Wow. That does open up a whole new world, doesn't it? That's pretty awesome.
And it's very easy to implement, as far as I can see.
Wow.
And there we are currently doing testings in that regard, tweaking things.
That's great. Well, I've run down to the end of my question list. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to thank you to interview me finally.
Yeah. Well, this is great. And
took some time.
Yeah. I think people will enjoy hearing all this information. I've learned a lot today. So, thank you, Mr. Voom, for this informative interview.
You're welcome.
Okay.
This song goes out to Walmart. Until you do the right thing by the women of classic fashion, we gon' keep calling you out. Check it. It's been a minute since sweatshops made your jaw drop. But drop jaws and weak laws couldn't stop an industry that sold you. Sweatshops were old news. But if sweatshops ain't enough, what if I told you the woman that made your socks, she got raped? The woman that made your drawers, she got raped. Yo, the woman that made your shirt, she got raped. Yeah, the woman that made your bra, she got raped. Well, if it came from the classic fashion factory in Jordan, there's a chance she might have been raped, beaten, and tortured. Trafficked in from Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. For so and no way of knowing about the pound.